You guys know the drill when you see this background. I'm only telling you once. Today's story is on the gory side, so viewer discretion is advised. It's story time. Take a seat. I can't believe Nemo just touched that butt. On August 17th, 2003, there was a man by the name of Doug McKay who was the co-owner of this carnival in Seattle, Washington. On this day, Doug would be oiling up a section of the carnival's most famous ride. It went by the name of the Super Loop 2. Doug would be scanning the area of this roller coaster, looking at it, trying to figure out which parts to oil while it was still active and full of passengers. As the ride began going through its famous loop, Doug McKay was standing right underneath it. Unfortunately for Doug, his hair would be blowing straight up from the wind, and it would cause it to get caught by the wheels on this roller coaster. After his hair was caught, the momentum of the roller coaster was just so great that it swooped him off his feet and just started carrying him along with the other passengers. After a short while of being ragdolled through the air by this ride, there'd be a piece of metalwork that was sticking out, and it would go across his throat, cutting it. The cut wouldn't be enough to kill him, but it would be enough to spray blood all over this little boy by the name of Dylan Bowles, who was directly in front of them when this happened. He would be the only one out of 30 people on that ride who got sprayed by Doug's blood. But the worst was yet to come. While Doug was still barely alive, the ride would loop the loop again, and this loop was so great that it tore his scalp clean off his head. The separation of his scalp would free him from the roller coaster, but with his throat cut and his head scalped, it sent blood spraying everywhere. Wait for it. Directly on a class of children who were standing in line for another ride. After these poor kids had been sprayed with blood, Doug would continue his journey through the air and crash into this beam that folded him in half like a lawn chair. He would finally die after hitting the concrete that was below him, but the impact was so great that it caused his guts, brains, you name it, to splatter everywhere. And remember, kids were here. Oh, and the icing on the cake, the splatter from that would get all over another bunch of kids who were just unfortunate to be walking by at the time. Gross. After this mayhem finally came to an end, the police and the fire department would come by really fast and try to cover up everything, but it'd be too late for the people that already saw it. The Super Loop 2 would be closed for the remainder of the summer and be used as a sort of memorial for Doug. Like and comment for more stories.